What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. This time I actually want to talk about the recent news that does suggest that the Philadelphia 76ers are extremely interested in potentially trading for DeAaron Fox, and that a trade is extremely rising out there, and this is even being included in Ben Simmons talks. Ben Simmons potentially to Sacramento would be a really interesting thing, and this is all being reported by Yahoo Sports. I believe there was also an interview or like a reporter that talked to DeAaron Fox earlier and said that, what do you like? What's your reaction to like the trade talks and the murmurs of you getting traded? And I think he like low-key said or something that the way we're not playing that great right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to make some changes and this and that, which to me, like, I think to a lot of people, that basically says that I don't think this guy would be surprised if he got traded or if any of his teammates got traded. I think he knows, and I think a lot of people know, that there is a big chance the Sacramento Kings blow up their team for the 200 billionth time. And to be honest, I think if you're a Sacramento Kings fan, you should actually be excited about potentially getting Ben Simmons to the team. Now, some people might be like, well, DeAaron Fox is not better. He's a lot better than Ben Simmons. Well, you're probably right. He is maybe a better player, but I just don't know if DeAaron Fox is necessarily 100% of a necessity for this, I think Sacramento Kings team. Plus, I actually think Ben Simmons would flourish on the Sacramento Kings, because one thing, people will critique Ben Simmons for being a shocking shot creator, not having a three-point shot, not being able to hit a mid-range even, and just passing up open layups. But before we even get into his defense and his rebounding and this and that, he's still one of the best passers in the NBA when he plays. And I couldn't imagine what he would do if he had, Harrison Barnes and I think Buddy Hield on the perimeter to pass to. Like, I think people low-key forget that he's been the reason so many shooters wanted to play with Ben Simmons in the past is because he is still a pretty good passer. Like, we look at Danny Green, he seemed pretty excited about getting there to play with Ben Simmons. Seth Curry as well. JJ Redick in the past joined Philly, I believe, to go and play with Ben Simmons. So many of these players, they really liked playing with Simmons, and I think, again, his passing to them was pretty good. And I think there is a chance where the Sacramento Kings, by trade deadline, can't actually get rid of Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes. Just based on the fact is, they clearly have value in the NBA. The issue is it's just going to be extremely hard to try and trade their contracts, because both of them are on around $22 million a season, which is that's going to be a very big pain to try and trade. The thing is, if you're a Sacramento Kings fan, one of the worst things about their team as well is interior defense. Like, their interior defense is awful. Marvin Bagley is not a good defender at all. Neither is Alex Len, and he's had to start very recently because of Richaun Holmes and Tristan Thompson, I believe, going into COVID. But Thompson is not a good interior defender at all. Like, let's just say Richaun Holmes is an average interior defender. All your other big men are, terrible at it. So you bring in a dude like Ben Simmons, who can guard 1 through 5 and is a terrific interior defender, a great perimeter defender, and I think he would boost their defense a lot. So yeah, I think a lot of really good things about getting Ben Simmons if you're a Sacramento Kings fan. But if you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan, I think DeAaron Fox works out really well for their team as well. And to be honest, I actually think this is a win-win trade. Again, before I get more into Philly, Sacramento, the biggest things they need right now are interior defense. That's the big thing. Like, their interior defense sucks, and Ben Simmons is superb at that. Not just that, people will say DeAaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton are, decent playmakers because they're both averaging around 6 assists per game. But they have so many three-point shooting targets, which it makes me think if Ben Simmons was to get a hold of that, could Simmons actually average 10 assists on this Sacramento Kings team? Legitimately could. Plus, again, he's just another facilitator you can bring onto the team that, look, he's not going to create your shots, but the dude can definitely drive and get a layup and actually at least content with that. So it is going to be that is one of the other things he can do. People forget he can still be a really good guy at taking contested layups and this and that. But again, I think he just got really, really like bad at it when he was on Philadelphia in the end. That could have been due to pressure, expectations, etc. And just all the crap he was being, a bunch of people were talking about him. So those are a lot of issues there. But again, if you bring in DeAaron Fox for the Philadelphia 76ers, I think he's another really good guy. Because he's another shot creator, and he's used to playing with a bunch of shooters around him, like Harrison Barnes and Buddy Hield. So he'd be pretty, I think, easy with playing with dudes like Seth Curry and Danny Green. Not just that, he definitely is one of those guys who would let Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris isolate and do their thing, when they really wanted to. I don't think he would stop them from doing that. He's not going to take shots away from those guys. I could still see him getting to the team and averaging around 20 points and like 6 assists, which is an upgrade over Tyrese Maxey, I guess, who's averaging 17 and 4.5, which is still terrific numbers. I just think that DeAaron Fox is still a much better player. And hey, you're bringing Tyrese Maxey off the bench, you're not doing bad. Like, he is a terrific young guy, and I don't think people realize how good this guy is. Like, he's in his second season, averaging 17 and 4.5. Those are really good numbers. The issue is they just don't have like a consistent point guard who can pass on this team. Like, even though Tyrese's scoring is insane, 4.5 assists is just not great when you've got players like Joel Embiid, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris. Even Danny Green, who's a great three-point shooter, Furkan Korkmaz, all these great role players and stars around you, and you're still only averaging 4.5 assists. It's not great, but I think he does make up for some of it with his scoring. If you just bring in a dude like DeAaron Fox, he's probably going to average around 6 or 7 assists for this team, while still maybe averaging his 20 points. And again, I think the playmaking just gets a lot better. The ball movement would probably increase, and I think it would just make a lot more sense. But realistically, I think, Ben Simmons, it wouldn't make sense for him to even come back to this team. I heard there was a rumor they're going to try and get him to come back. Just don't even try it. Like, that ship has sailed at this point. And just not just that, he clogs up the paint for Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid. He's not the guy for this team. I think a dude like DeAaron Fox works because he can at least hit the three. He's not super consistent on it, but he can at least do it. So, that's going to be a huge upgrade over that point guard position. He's still a huge upgrade over Tyrese Maxey, even though, as I said, he's been great for a dude that's only in his second season. But then again, for the Sacramento Kings, you bring in a dude like Ben Simmons. That's going to be great for them. They desperately need interior defense. I think he's an upgrade when it comes to playmaking over DeAaron Fox for this team. And I just think he adds another big man to this team, which I think they really need. Like, their tallest player is usually, I guess Marvin Bagley, who's 6'11" and can't defend the interior. And then, even Thompson, he's only 6'9". Len's 7 foot. Can't defend the interior, and Holmes is like 6'9" and just is too small to be a good enough interior defender. Similar to Thompson, I guess, but you know what I mean. The thing is as well, you just look at that and you just kind of say, well, Ben Simmons, he'd be perfect for this Sacramento team. He wouldn't take shots away from any of their guys. I think even players like, even Harrison Barnes and Buddy Hield, they're even going to improve more with Simmons on this team because the playmaking to them would be great. And again, I guess they would get to create more of their own shots, which they've been wanting to do. But then there's the other obvious one, which is Tyrese Halliburton. I think he'd become a way better player with Ben Simmons on this team, because now you take away DeAaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton kind of becomes their main shot creator. So he'd have to put up a lot more shots, and I think going into what would be his third season next year, I think he would be due for a breakout one. And again, trading away DeAaron Fox means that I think Davion Mitchell can get more minutes on this team, because right now he's only playing 25 minutes, which is not super for a dude that was picked 9. And again, you trade away a guard and you bring in a guard forward, which is Ben Simmons, which I think Simmons would guard mainly a lot of the power forward for this team. So that would mean, I would assume Davion Mitchell would eventually start playing 30 minutes per game on this team. But yeah, getting in Ben Simmons would make a whole lot of sense. And I think Ben Simmons and Halliburton, and eventually Mitchell and whoever they potentially draft this year would be kind of a deadly combination. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA news and NBA content. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel MIRL/long channels if you haven't already. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions. Do you guys think that the Sacramento Kings and Philadelphia 76ers should, of course, make a move like this? Let me know down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.